All right, what can the world's greatest comedian and a newly minted Microsoft MVP each teach us about a key principle of solution architecture? Kia ora, everyone. I'm Nathan Rose here in beautiful Auckland, New Zealand. Wanted to share with you some stuff I've been learning from my man, Sean Astrakhan, about solution architecture and some ways that I've applied it. For those of you who don't know Sean, he's a newly minted Microsoft MVP. Sean, congrats. That's an epic achievement, mate. And Sean also runs the Solution Architects Accelerator, where he teaches some key principles of solution architecture to help you accelerate your learning in that area. Now, one of the things that Sean teaches in his accelerator is the idea that as a solution architect, your job isn't necessarily to be the chief technical person in the room. Rather, your job is to interpret and understand business value and deliver to that. And I'd like to share an example of how I was recently able to apply Sean's thinking in this area to a workshop that I was in to solve an issue. So I was recently in a workshop with a client, and we were looking at an automation that had been deployed into their system a few years ago. So this automation predated both myself and my counterpart at the client, and our job was to figure out what it was doing and why it was doing what it did. Long story short, this automation would create a record when it was triggered, but then the user had to go in and manually enter all these details on this record created by the automation anyways. Now, my counterpart and I were quickly able to determine that this wasn't adding much value. You see, we pulled back from the technical level to the business process and business outcome level. And by looking at the problem through that lens, we were able to say, this automation isn't really adding anything to the process. It just feels like automation for the sake of automation. Now, if we looked at it through a technical lens, we would have tried to come up with all types of solutions to make the automation do what it was originally intended to do. But the reality was it just wasn't creating business value. And so there's not a lot of sense to do it. You see, on the Power Platform, when you ask the question, can we do? From a technical point of view, the answer is always yes. But that doesn't mean we should do it that way. As Chris Rock is famous for saying, you can drive a car with your feet if you want to. That doesn't make it a good idea. And in this case, the same principle applies. When we look at the problem through the lens of business value and business outcomes, there wasn't really any point in running this automation. So not only were we able to improve the user experience, we were actually able to simplify some of the technical complexity in this Power App. And that's all thanks to Sean and his Solution Architect Accelerator, being able to look at the problem through the lens of business value and business outcomes. So just wanted to do a quick shout out to you, Sean. Love your work. Congrats on becoming an MVP. That's an epic achievement. Go do something awesome on the Power Platform today, and I'll talk to you all soon.